What if I told you that motivation isn't something you wait for, it's something you create? We all have goals. We get inspired. We start strong.
Artlist.io.
But then, life happens. You wake up feeling tired. The excitement fades. One bad day turns into a bad week, and suddenly, you feel like quitting. This is exactly what happened to Daniel. He wanted to improve his life. He set goals, created plans, and started making changes. But every time he faced setbacks, he lost motivation and gave up. He started a fitness journey, but quit after 2 weeks. He launched a business, but abandoned it after a few failures. He promised to change his life, but kept falling back into old habits. And then, he told himself, maybe I'm just not meant to succeed. But what if that was a lie?
Artlist.io.
One day, Daniel learned the truth about motivation, and what he discovered changed everything. This is the story of how he learned to stay motivated every single day, no matter how tough things got. And by the end of this video, you'll know how to do it too. Before we begin, hit subscribe, because this might be the most important lesson of your life. Daniel had always been a dreamer. He wanted to be successful, get in shape, and build a better life. He would spend hours watching motivational videos, reading success stories, and writing down his goals. But there was a problem. No matter how inspired he felt at the beginning, his motivation never lasted. He set a goal to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning, but by the third day, he hit snooze and slept in. He started a new fitness plan with excitement, but after missing 2 workouts, he gave up. He tried working on a side hustle, but as soon as it got difficult, he convinced himself to quit. And every time he failed, he told himself, maybe I just don't have what it takes. Maybe motivation just doesn't work for me. Maybe I'm not meant to be successful. So, Daniel stopped trying. For months, he went back to his old routine, waking up late, wasting time on social media, and making excuses. But deep inside, he felt miserable. He knew he was capable of more, but he didn't know how to stay motivated long enough to succeed. Then one day, everything changed.
Artlist.io.
Daniel met his mentor, an old friend who had once struggled just like him. Someone who had failed over and over again, but never gave up. Now, this friend was thriving, running a successful business, transforming his health, and living the life Daniel had always dreamed of. Daniel asked, how do you stay motivated? How do you keep going even when you feel like quitting? His mentor smiled and said something that shook Daniel to his core. Daniel, motivation isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. And once you learn how, you'll never struggle again. At first, Daniel didn't understand. How do you create motivation? But what his mentor told him next would change his life forever.
Reimagined.
Daniel sat there, confused. Motivation isn't something you wait for, it's something you create? What does that even mean? His mentor leaned in and said, think about it. When you're excited about something new, motivation is easy, right? But what happens when that excitement fades? Daniel thought for a moment. That was exactly his problem. Every time he started something new, he was motivated at first. But the moment things got hard, that motivation disappeared. He asked, so how do you make motivation last? His mentor smiled. Before I answer that, let me tell you why most people fail. Why most people lose motivation. His mentor explained that most people fail to stay motivated for 3 simple reasons. They rely on feelings instead of systems. They take action when they feel motivated, but stop when they feel tired, stressed, or bored. Successful people don't wait to feel motivated, they follow a system that keeps them moving forward. They expect results too quickly. Daniel was guilty of this. He wanted to see instant success.
Artlist.io.
When he didn't, he lost motivation. But the truth is, success is a long-term game. The people who win are the ones who stay consistent. They focus on the goal instead of the process. Goals are important, but they don't create motivation. What keeps you going is
Music
falling in love with the
licensing
process.
reimagined.
If you only care about the end result, you'll lose motivation the moment progress slows down. Daniel listened carefully. He had never thought about motivation this way. Okay, he said. I get why I keep failing. But how do I fix it? That's when his mentor revealed the secret to creating motivation every single day. Most people think motivation comes first. But that's the biggest lie.
Artlist.io.
Daniel's mentor explained. Most people think motivation, action, success. But in reality, it works the other way around. Action, motivation, success. Motivation doesn't create action. Action creates motivation. At first, Daniel didn't understand. But then his mentor gave him an example. Let's say you don't feel like working out. You sit on the couch,
Artlist.io.
telling yourself you'll start when you feel motivated. But what happens when you force yourself to do just 5 minutes of exercise? Daniel thought about it. Once I start moving, I usually feel more motivated to keep going. His mentor smiled. Exactly.
Music
That's because
licensing
taking action
reimagined.
changes your state of mind. The hardest part isn't doing the work, it's starting the work. That was the moment Daniel realized the truth. He had been waiting for motivation instead of creating it. He had been relying on feelings instead of building habits. He had been focused on results instead of falling in love with the process. He asked, so what's the secret to taking action every day? His mentor gave him 3 simple rules. Daniel had cracked the code. Motivation wasn't a feeling, it was a habit. Now, he wanted to help others do the same. So, he created a simple, 3-step daily action plan that anyone could follow to stay motivated every single day, even when they felt like quitting.
Music licensing
Step 1,
reimagined.
the 5-minute rule. Just start, no excuses. Daniel's biggest breakthrough came when he learned that starting is the hardest part. So, he created a simple rule. Whenever you don't feel like doing something, commit to just 5 minutes. Why does this work? Science behind it. Studies from Dr. Mel Robbins show that the brain resists overwhelming tasks, but once you start, your brain shifts into action mode, making it easier to
Artlist.io.
keep going. How to apply it? Don't feel like working out? Walk for 5 minutes, you'll likely do more. Don't feel like writing? Type 1 sentence, momentum will take over. Too tired to clean? Organize for 5 minutes, you'll keep
Music
going.
licensing
Key
reimagined.
takeaway, action comes before motivation. Once you start, you won't want to stop. Step 2, the 1% better rule, focus on small wins daily. Another mistake Daniel made? He expected massive results instantly. But high achievers don't chase big wins, they focus on tiny improvements every day. So, he applied the 1% better rule. Instead of trying to be
Artlist.io.
perfect, aim to improve just 1% every day. Why does this work? Science behind it. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, found that improving by just 1% daily leads to a 37x improvement in a year. How to apply it? Instead of reading a whole book, read 2 pages per day. Instead of a 1-hour workout, do 10 minutes daily. Instead of working 8 hours straight, start with 30
Artlist.io.
minutes of deep focus. Key takeaway, small, consistent actions beat big, inconsistent ones. Just aim for 1% better daily. Step 3, identity-based habits, become the person who succeeds. The most powerful shift Daniel made?
Music licensing
He stopped focusing on what he
reimagined.
wanted, and started focusing on who he was becoming. He learned about identity-based habits from Dr. B.J. Fogg, a behavior scientist at Stanford. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, start saying, I am the kind of person who takes action. Why does this work? Science behind it, your self-identity controls your actions. When you believe you are something, your brain automatically aligns your actions with that belief.
Artlist.io.
How to apply it. Instead of, I want to be fit, say, I am the kind of person who never skips workouts. Instead of, I want to be productive, say, I am someone who values deep work. Instead of, I want to be rich, say, I am someone who makes smart financial decisions.
Music licensing
Key takeaway,
reimagined.
when you change your identity, your actions follow automatically. By the end of his 30-day challenge, Daniel felt like a completely different person. He no longer relied on motivation to take action. Instead, he had built a system that kept him moving forward, even on his worst days. He realized that success wasn't about feeling inspired, it was about showing up every single day, no matter what. The biggest lessons Daniel learned.
Artlist.io.
After 30 days of staying committed, Daniel reflected on what truly changed. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. The secret to staying motivated isn't waiting for the right mood, it's starting, even when you don't feel like it. Once you take action, your brain releases
Music
dopamine,
licensing
making you feel
reimagined.
more motivated. Small, consistent wins are more powerful than big, occasional efforts. Instead of aiming for huge results, Daniel learned that 1% daily improvement leads to massive success over time. Small actions compound into big transformations. Success is a habit, not a one-time event. He stopped thinking of motivation as an emotional boost and started treating it as a daily discipline.
Artlist.io.
When you show up every day, success becomes inevitable. How Daniel's life changed after 30 days. He finally woke up early, without hitting snooze. He exercised consistently and lost 10 pounds. He launched a new business idea and stayed committed. He stopped making excuses and started focusing on results. But most importantly, he never struggled with motivation again.
Artlist.io.
Because now, he knew the truth. Motivation is not something you wait for. It's something you create. And once you learn how to create it, you will never feel stuck again. Music softens, preparing for the final call to action. Motivation is no longer your problem, your
Music
next step is
licensing
action.
reimagined.
Now, ask yourself, what's one thing you've been putting off? Drop it in the comments and commit to taking action today. Remember, motivation follows action. Start now, and momentum will take over. Small wins matter more than big plans. Just get 1% better daily. Success is about who you become. Choose to be the person who takes action.
Artlist.io.
If this video helped you, hit the like button and subscribe for more powerful strategies to transform your mindset and stay motivated every single day. Turn on notifications so you never miss a life-changing lesson. Your future self is waiting for you to take action. Will you do it? Or will you keep waiting?
Music licensing
The choice is
reimagined.
yours. Let's grow together.